Welcome back to Yesterday Today, the most informative 2 1/3 minutes in American politics. November 7th of 2025 marked the federal government's 38th day of ineptitude, with Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer making a substantial overture to congressional Republicans that would immediately end the shutdown, offering enough Democratic votes to approve an appropriations bill in exchange for nothing more than a one-year extension of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act premium tax credits. Majority Leader John Thune and Senator Lindsey Graham rejected the offer out of hand, committing to taking sole responsibility for the continuation of their historic Republican shutdown. Trump's extrajudicial killings continued throughout the Caribbean as another small craft was destroyed by a lethal kinetic strike, assassinating 3 more civilians that Secretary Pete Hegseth insisted, by way of the platform formerly known as Twitter, were narco-terrorists that belonged to a designated terrorist organization, which is more than slightly concerning given that Trump designated Antifa a terrorist organization by way of an executive order just 47 days ago. What will henceforth be known as Trump's unauthorized Caribbean War has now killed more than 70 foreign civilians without due process, charges, trials, or in fact any evidence of any kind indicating that any of the targets were guilty of any of the accusations that warmonger Hegseth has claimed, with former chief prosecutor for the International Criminal Court, Argentine attorney Luis Moreno Ocampo, clarifying that the attacks constitute crimes against humanity under international law. Hegseth also announced that the Pentagon is no longer building for peacetime, but rather pivoting to a wartime footing, which is an odd way to convince the world that Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize, but an excellent way to silence the regressives that love to claim that he started no new wars. Meanwhile, the Senate held a vote on Joint Resolution 90, a bipartisan measure proposed on October 16th by Republican Rand Paul and Democrats Adam Schiff and Tim Kaine to direct the removal of United States armed forces from hostilities within or against Venezuela that have not been authorized by Congress, given that Congress has the sole power to declare war under Article 1, Section 8, Clause 11 of the United States Constitution. The chamber narrowly rejected the resolution by a vote of 49 to 51, with Senator Paul and Republican Lisa Murkowski voting in favor, as more than half of the Senate has now committed to sanctioning Trump's egregious violations of the Constitution. And that was Yesterday Today. Tune into our next installment where we'll summarize the headlines of today tomorrow.